The game of business has fundamentally changed. So many of our organizations around the world have always been focused on things like revenue, profit, all these quarterly metrics. And that has always been designed to make more money than the competitor, to take away market share from the competitor, to become more powerful than the competitor. And that's been the game that we've always been in, is how do we outperform everyone else in our space? How do we outperform and dominate and crush the competition? And for many decades, ever since the beginning of modern business, that's how our organizations have operated and that's how they've thought. But now the game of business has changed quite a bit. It's no longer about taking away market share from somebody else. It's no longer about making more money or being more profitable. It's now about outlasting the competition. So the investments that organizations are trying to make today aren't necessarily to take away from the competition, but it's to outlast the competition. It's to stay in the race, to stay in the game while all others have fallen behind you and are not able to keep going. Now, that type of a mentality and that type of a game requires a different way for us to think about how work gets done. It requires us to make investments that don't just impact the short term, that don't just impact the quarterly numbers that we're looking at. These require investments in a way of thinking that allow us to look beyond, to look at the big picture, to look at the entire race, to look at the entire marathon, not just the first few miles that we have to actually run across. And so I think this is a very, very interesting thing that we're starting to see in organizations that are able to make this shift and understand how the game of business has changed and how that now we are in the long game that is outlasting the competition instead of just trying to take from them. I think the organizations that get that are the ones that are going to win. Those are the organizations that are going to make the right investments in culture, in technology, in people, in physical space, into redesigning their organizations to put people at the middle. So don't focus on the short term. Don't just get stuck worrying about the quarterly profits. We have to focus on the long run. The game of business has changed. Are you going to change with it?